Namaste, angels. This will be, oh goodness. Okay, scratch that. I was about to give you the date range of the reading, but as I'm starting, out through my soundproof window, I'm hearing sirens from Raphael, and in another room in my house begins to come on this song, Daddy's Home, and not the one from Usher, like the original Daddy's Home. Goodness, I forget the name of the group. Is it the Shy Lights? It's an old group, like a 50s group or something. And actually one of my first cousins, his father was in the group temporarily. It's a crazy thing, this connection to it. And so I just got thrown off. All right, so I just want to explain what was happening just now when I couldn't speak. This reading is for tomorrow, Sunday, February 4th through next Saturday, February 10th. I'm still hearing the song, Daddy's Home to Stay. It could be about the return of the divine masculine, if not my own in some kind of profound way, in general. Because some of you may have seen that earlier I had, I posted about these two candles. Now you can see that they're both burning at about the same strength now. But earlier, this one was burning, it was raging. It was a raging fire coming up out of the candle and against my wall. Here's the soot to prove it. And I connected that to what an occurrence that's going on today, an event that's going on today. Mercury is forming a sextile to Mars. And so I had initially said that this candle here was representing for me, when I put them up, before any of this happened, Pluto and Mercury, and that this one was Venus. So this one was the masculine. And then as I was doing that video, I said, maybe it's not so much Pluto as it is Scorpio in general, which Scorpio is ruled by Mars. That may have been what they were trying to tell me. Like, forget about, you don't have to attach it necessarily to Pluto. It's Scorpio or Mars was what we were trying to get to. Because I get messages in all different kinds of ways, like clear everything. So sometimes stuff is said to me plainly, which I love. That's like the best, right? You know, you don't have to second guess yourself. There's instant clarity. But sometimes I got to figure stuff out. They like drop me clues and things. So I think this is about this raging fire. Some of us felt and commented on the video that it's connected to the Bangles song, Is This Burning an Eternal Flame? Right, give me your hand. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? Do you feel the same? So I posted that video underneath. I posted a link to the Bangles video in the About section of the video where I posted the burning flame. So you might want to check it out because it was pretty cool. Especially now that you get to see that it's not doing much of anything at this point. So with that said, today there is a sextile between Mercury and Mars. And actually I was guided to do a personal spread on myself, and I didn't click then, but it is now. The only two quote unquote negative cards were the 5 of air and the 5 of fire. The 5 of fire was in my subconscious position placement, and the 5 of air was in my masculines. And of course, I'm the air sign, and he would be the fire as a Scorpio ruled by Mars. Although I have fire in my chart, I'm a Leo rising, and he has air in his. He's an Aquarius rising. And then all the other cards were like really, really nice. You know, so it was like rooted by the Lovers, the 2 of Cups at the heart of the matter, crowned by the King of Cups. It was like the two of Wands was there too, somewhere maybe here for me. The Page of Cups, everything else was beautiful. The Sun, except for at the bottom, this basically like Mercury versus Mars, the 5 of air versus the 5 of Wands. So that was depicting that, I guess. There's also a Libra moon today, so that could be a reason maybe for a bunch of air to show up. We are still in the energy, of course, of the Leo full moon and lunar eclipse of the 31st. Also on that day, the 31st, Mercury, ruler of Gemini, joined Venus, ruler of Gemini, in Aquarius. All of these things may factor in. So also in the general, I ended up going on a tangent and talking about 316, the year 316, because I was reading a story about Saint Blaise. Today is February 3rd, Saturday, February 3rd. It is the feast day of Saint Blaise. Where I am here in New York, it is not yet even 5 o'clock. So in the Roman Catholic Church, there's always a 5 o'clock mass, at least here where I've grown up. There's always in America, there's always a 5 o'clock mass that constitutes Sunday. So like if you go on Saturday evening, you don't have to go on Sunday morning. If you are quote unquote religious and you go to church religiously, and you don't want to be accused of sinning and missing a required date to attend, then a holy day of obligation, as they call it, then you would go on Saturday if you don't want to go on Sunday or you can't go on Sunday. So that hasn't even happened yet. Now, the Saint Blaise, what happens at the feast day of Saint Blaise is people can get their throats blessed. You don't have to attend a service. It's similar to Ash Wednesday, which is on Valentine's Day, by the way. So it's next week. Where you just walk in and get the ashes. You just walk in and get your throat blessed. There'll be priests standing up front. And the church is certainly still open, was the point I was trying to get to, because the 5 o'clock mass hasn't even happened yet. So any of you, especially those of you on the West Coast, hopefully can catch this video in time. It is almost 5 o'clock here now. It is exactly 4:44 as I speak in this moment. So Eastern Standard Time, if you want to get your throat blazed. Now, I was thinking that I would, and some of you may like to, for the purpose of throat chakra. There's things that we have to say that we've been unable to get out of our mouths, and we need to release our X as an expression and express ourselves. So some of you may want to go ahead and get your throat blessed, regardless of how you feel or don't feel about church. Because I myself don't attend and I'm not religious, and no judgment from me either way. People can do whatever they feel is right for them. So anyway, I was talking about Saint Blaise, and I mentioned that all this occurred with him. He was martyred in the year 316, and how important the year 316 is. And one of the things that I did not mention, maybe because I had recited a bunch of scripture at the beginning of the reading, maybe not, was John 3:16. And one of my followers ended up talking to me about John 3:16 afterwards. And I said, yes, absolutely. That applies too. I was trying to quickly name all the special things about the numbers 316 in tandem. And actually, speaking of ways that they try to point out to me different messages, very recently, the first video that I did showing my face, I was at the South Street Seaport here in New York, in Manhattan, and I recorded my face on a Facebook Live video. That video popped up maybe a week or two ago. And in that video, at the beginning of it, I talked about John 3:16 and I recited it. So maybe that was a faraway message that I was supposed to pick up on in connection to this. Also, I didn't mention in the general that this week, in addition to some of my subscribers, like Leah and Teresa, who have birthdays. Teresa's birthday is actually today. Leah's was yesterday, the 2nd. It is also the birthday of another one of my most favorite Aquarians, Bob Marley. Bob Marley's, the date of his passing, so again, to speak of the weird ways they show me things, this one I picked up on instantly. The date of his passing equals 7/19. He died May 11th, 1981. 5/11 equals 16 equals 7. And 1981 equals 19. 7/19, two numbers that represent God the Father. One of my subscribers and viewers commented on the video that I did for the week, the General Weekly, that at 7/19 I was in the middle of reciting one of these pieces of scripture. I picked up on that right away. The Bob Marley 7/19 and the 7/19 spot on the video to which she wanted me to refer. At that time, I was saying, sorry, I still got a bunch of paranormal activity going on around me. So yeah, what I was saying at the time was Romans 12:19. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. So I was in the middle of saying that, and I figured that was interesting and should be noted too, that it was 12:19, and she pointed out that it's at space 7/19, which both represents the Father on my video. That's the timestamp, and 7/19 is the date of the death, or is the numerical equivalent of the date of the death of the very important Aquarian that I forgot to mention during the weekly Bob Marley. All right, what else weird did I want to just go off on? Did I tell you what John 3:16 was? This is very important too. So again, 3:16 came up because of the year that St. Blaise was martyred, but John 3:16 is this very special one. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but shall have eternal life. And since I was doing that reading, performing that reading on February 2nd, which is the feast day of the presentation of the Lord, it very much so could have been and likely was connected to the sun. What else? Oh, I wanted to, I've been hearing this song over and over, and I wasn't familiar with this song until I started hearing it every day, every day, all day. So I think it's another message for us. I'll begin the reading. I'll use it as like an opening message for this reading. And I also wanted to throw in that Fiona, the hippo, who apparently is an animal similar to Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog. He chooses whether or not spring or winter is going to come. And apparently Fiona the hippo chooses which team is going to win the Super Bowl. She has chosen the Eagles. Now, I too chose the Eagles a little while ago. I was in the grocery store and I was just like watching everybody buy Super Bowl food. And then all of a sudden in my mind, I was just like, I'm going Eagles. My mother's an Eagle. Eagles for the win. And so I came home and saw this. So I thought that was funny too. So we'll see if they win. All right, so let's do the dice. You see that quick? I forgot what the hell I said I was going to do. I said I was going to go over the song by Major. I just want to be honest. I didn't even tell you the name of the song. That's what it is. The artist's name is Major and the song is I Just Want to Be Honest. I think I still need a nap. I mentioned in the general that I was weird right now, today. I guess I still am. Also, before I forget, this video is brought to you by, is sponsored by, speaking of Leah, whose birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Leah. Belated. It is sponsored by Leah. It is sponsored by Brian Williams. It is sponsored by Jessica Bunsfield. Okay. Oh, and it is sponsored by Mary Anderson. All right, that said, moving on to Major, and I apologize for my strange behavior, but I explained it, I think, in the other video, in the general. Honest. Maybe I don't have enough. Maybe that may be too much. Tell me if I misunderstood. Let this go if you feel you should. I just want to be honest, times two. With all my faults around, I may let you down. I just want to be honest. Honest. I can't do it without you. Don't want to let you down. I'm tired of giving you less than truth. When truth gets what it's pulling me to do, I've been trying to be perfection when broken is what makes us human. I just want to be honest ×2 with all my faults around. I may let you down. I just want to be honest. Honest. I can't do it without you. Don't want to let you down. Maybe I just lose some touch. Maybe I just think too much. Take me as I am, my love. My love, I just want to be honest. With all my faults around, I may let you down. I just want to be honest. I can't do it without you. I don't want to let you down. Only you can take me this way, loving me through all my mistakes. I just want to be honest with you. Maybe I just lose some touch. Maybe I just think too much. Take me as I am, my love. I just want to be honest. So I think that to bring me back to, I know I'm all over the place. Again, I apologize. To bring me back to those of us who need to express ourselves, I think as it relates specifically to the divine masculine in that case, and where in the general, there was an internal struggle that presented itself in the form of what could be a happy family, and representing his joy was the 10 of Cups that was clarified by the 5 of Fire. So that, again, that Mars energy. And I said, for some, this is a conflict that is internal, and it may be driven by friends and family, right? By people who are trying to get in your way, people who try to prevent you from having the happiness that you desire. They will talk you out of the relationship that you desire because you're too much or not enough, as this song describes, because you have a bunch of faults. You know, you're not worthy, or maybe people have told you you're too good, whatever the case may be. So there was definitely a struggle there where the masculine would have to let go of fear and ego that was represented by the 8 of Swords if he wanted that overall happiness, which again was represented by the 10 of Cups crowning him and the Wheel of Fortune upright in his subconscious. The only thing barring him from that happiness, followed by like the Ace of Cups or something, was that 8 of Air, which is a restrictive energy that we allow, right? It's anxiety, it's fear, it's ego. So if he lets that go and is able to muster up this kind of honesty, which a blessing of the throat, you know, in honor of Saint Blaise may or may not help him to do, then, you know, he should go for it. He should go for it. All right. So now I can do the dice. All right. So we're going to start with 29 with the spiritual partnership. And I've been seeing 29 all day. I've posted it on my Facebook. Like I posted like 4 pictures of the number 29 in different ways today on my Facebook together. So we have that. Stay in bed. And email, which could be connected to Aquarius, to maybe Venus and Mercury being in Aquarius, and that need to communicate, that need to express ourselves, right? Aquarius for me, like all the other air signs, is about communication, but most specifically like electronic communication. And that's why when I saw the email, I connected it to, perhaps because Venus and Mercury are both in Aquarius, that is coming up. It's time to send an email. If you can't muster, you know, the words, bring them out of your mouth, out of your throat, send an email. So I've shaken up the dice in front of you. 29 is back. Spiritual partnership. Do it today. Find the strength. Do it today. Also, still stay in bed, says Spirit. And it's 50-50. Like, it could go either way. You could do yes or you could do no. It's kind of like at your will. Life is what you make it, is what's coming from this for me. Maybe it's 50-50 as to whether or not you send the email. Are you going to do it or are you not? Like that sort of thing. All right, here come the cards. Okay, and you know what I want to do? I have these incense sitting here. I never lit them either. I want to do that too. This is how I lit the candles, actually. I usually light my incense first, and then I use it to light each candle. That's how I light them at the same time. All right, so shuffling, I'm going to give us another beginning message. Nothing jumped out this time, but just landing on this card, I was drawn like into it and sort of captivated also by the title, Heart of the Moment. You know that I always have the heart of the matter in my readings. The heart of the moment was intriguing. So I wanted to read that, and that'll be our opening message. It's card number 16 from The Journey of Love, which is written or produced by Alana Fairchild, Razuli, and Richard Cohn. So I guess 3 authors, co-authors. You are entering a time in your life where past and future are colliding. In this present moment, you have a powerful opportunity to decide how you wish to continue in a certain pattern of relating or not. This may mean leaving a relationship or starting a new one. But even if you cannot yet make that decision with peace in your heart, you can still partake of the heart of this moment and decide how you, capital Y, capital O, capital U, shall choose to be. Will you speak? Will you choose to let go of shame and criticism, or of judgment and anxiety, of loss and despair? And those are many of the things that I discussed in the general for the masculine as having. So will you get rid of these things and just be with your own heart now? Will you choose in this moment to trust yourself? Even if that trust says that you have to wait a little while longer before you can make a long-term decision. This is a time when you can alter your future. Stepping into a relationship with another, with a divine, with yourself in a new way. Even the smallest choice for love is a step in the best direction. You have the heart of the divine within you. It's not too hard for you to choose love. Let go of the people who want you to choose jealousy, fear, or doubt. I said these exact same things in the general reading for those of you who didn't see it and wish to hear. I promise you, check it out. Their games are not nearly as fun. Choose love, and who knows, maybe they'll join you in your party instead. I said that too. I said we can pray for these people and hope, these people that are jealous and envious and negative, and hope that one day they get it. That's what this is saying too. So this must be an important theme this week. This oracle brings you a message that you are in a transition zone in your life and in relationships. It is one moment that will manifest as many opportunities, where one choice will open up many pathways to fulfillment for you. We always have the chance to create our future with our present choices. But at this time, you are in an especially fertile karmic period. I said those 3 things too. I actually used the words fertile and karmic quite a bit yesterday. Having just come out of a cycle of learning, about to enter into a new cycle, this is the time to be willing to take a chance or to risk to be happy within yourself, no matter what is going on around you. Exactly. I talked a lot about deciding to be happy too. Your life is about to take a karmic turn, and you can feel peace in that knowing. Love provides the opportunity to express the core essence of our very nature. It touches us at a level of feeling beyond the human norm and renders our beings incapable of a feeling with greater depth or wonder. Love is the fabric of life. It is the substance that holds it all together and the magic that opens the unknown. It is the quality that speaks to our soul, that opens our heart, that excites our spirit, and allows us in its presence to become something greater than ourselves, something more than we are alone. I also pulled my blouse off, that green satin blouse I had on, so don't mind me. If you were like wondering, like, where did her arms come from? Yes, that's what happened. I pulled my blouse off. I got hot in here. Because I want to keep the sound. When you guys tell me that you did hear something, you heard some other sound or whatever, it's something that like we're meant to hear. Something that crept or something that crept in, because I close everything. I close my door. I close my windows. My windows are soundproof windows since they were redone by the entire complex. Everybody in this complex has these windows post 9/11 because we live in walking distance of the Trade Center. So after that, all the construction that was going on in this neighborhood, we needed soundproof windows. So I got hot. Long story short, I got hot in here. I pulled off my blouse. I'm going to the animal tarot. I'm beginning with the 7 of Autumn. The planning, resources, and effects the planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. So I talked a lot about reaping what we've sown too. And opening to the wheel, which represents the planet Jupiter for me, of the planet of luck, karma, expansion. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so this card also represents Sagittarius for me, as well as the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress because you're reaping what you've sown. So you planted the seeds for something good to happen in your life. Maybe you were kind to people and that karma is paying off now. You might not even realize that you planted the seeds, and you did. Seven of Autumn. And the King of Winter, who's intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. This can represent Mercury or Venus, or be an actual person in your life. Court cards tend to represent actual people. It could be your own energy too. And that energy would be the energy of Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. You know, somebody taking on those traits or attributes if they're not one of those zodiac signs. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. So this sounds like what I was talking about before with the throat chakra. Like, we're going to have to be able to communicate, and to do that most effectively, some of us may need throat chakra healing. If you were not inclined to go get your throat blessed and you didn't do it or whatever, that's cool too. Maybe you want to try binaural tones or some other sort of healing methodology or something, you know, whatever you're into. King of Winter. And very nice. See, I wanted to pull these out because when the general reading turns into a love reading, then I want to pull out the regular tarot cards again and see, you know, like how much of it was actually love, and, you know, how much was general messages too, or what, you know, was a little bit of both. So we are getting a lot of the same cards again already, that Wheel of Fortune, and now renewal or judgment, which represents for me the planet Pluto, and the sign of Scorpio. This is transformation. This is renewal, right? Recovery, rebirth, resurrection. Something was dead, we're bringing it back to life. Promotion, increase, all of those things. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. Even like the unknown. Fearlessly embrace that too. King of Winter back. And it's the Fool. How awesome are these three major arcana cards back to, I think I'll make this my last one. So while we're on a roll, because we started with the Wheel and then we opened to renewal and now the Dreamer. So as it relates to love, that renewal or judgment is about relationships getting back to, you know, deciding whether or not we're going to get back together. So that would be close friendships that maybe could turn into something else, or actual relationships, past loves with whom we were not reunited, or new loves. Where are we now? Where do we want to be? Where do we want to go in the future together, if anywhere? Or do we want to part ways? Like it's a time where we need to discuss that. And the dreamer or the fool shows up right on the heels of that to say, whatever choice you make, jump in. Like, you know, don't be afraid to jump at whatever the choice is. If it's to leave an old relationship and maybe there's been some fear or some anxiety attached to that, the fool says jump in. If it's entering a new relationship and there's some, you know, fear of that, maybe because an old relationship sucked and you're nervous, I don't want to repeat the same mistakes, the fool says to jump in anyway into that. And, you know, without worrying about what's to come, just be thankful for it, be positive about it, and it'll be positive for you and something for you to be thankful about. King of Winter. And the Prince of Autumn, who is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action steps to get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn, or the Knight of Pentacles, is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. And he's this very methodical knight who always gets to his destination, always reaches his goal, but he can be very, very slow in coming. So we may be going back to that energy of waiting to reap what we've sown, because he doesn't really leap. But these two together definitely can represent Mercury, because Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. And this King of Winter can also be representing the fact that Mercury is currently in Aquarius. So that can be what this is. It may not be actual people that you know. Can be, doesn't have to be. King of Winter, I'm going to cut. In which case, if it's representing Mercury and Aquarius, I would say that he's talking about making a plan about, it's Mercury guiding us to make a plan about how we're going to approach a resolution, you know, of something with someone, a reconciliation, a new relationship, getting started. Like, what's our plan? Moving forward with our lives, what's our plan? And staying in that area of practical matters, perhaps coming to the Two of Autumn. And maybe we have to make a decision about those practical matters. Well, again, like, what's our plan? You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. The Two of Autumn, for me, particularly as it relates to love and relationships, is deja vu from hell. And this is another card that turned up in the general too. So another one of these repeating energies. It is deja vu from hell. It is Groundhog Day. It is, why do we keep ending up in the same spot over and over and over again? And that's why judgment, I think, is important, right? That renewal, because it's like we reach this crossroad. We got to decide, where do we go from here? So maybe that's the decision, because the Two of Autumn can also represent a decision as well. The overall energy is a Three of Summer. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as engagement, wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. And as I was saying that, I don't know if you guys heard, all of a sudden there were a bunch of bells and horns. I don't know what that was. Again, in my little soundproof space. The Three of Summer can be, and I feel that it is right now, about something very celebratory. Also, the Three Little Birds, speaking of Bob Marley and his birthday this week, Three Little Birds showing up as the overall energy. They say, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is going to be all right. Maybe I'll post the link to Bob Marley's Three Little Birds under the video. The Nine of Spring. You have worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. That may be a union. That may be your new lifestyle, what you want for yourself. That may be the plan that you've devised as the Knight of Pentacles, right? that might be what you've created. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you always have in the past. So don't let somebody, destroy your plan or something tangible that you've created. Don't let them get in the way of what you desire, as it relates to love, of course, and relationships. You're surrounded by the Ace of Autumn. Awesome. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or a rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. This can be a new relationship too, or like a new beginning for a relationship, a new prosperous beginning, abundant beginning. We can go a long way, like we're ready to really do this. And we've got strength to make it through, even if the difficulties pop up and get in our way of this. We've got the strength to, survive them, to fend them off, fight them off, whatever we got to do. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. Strength represents the sign of Leo, and that can be what this fire energy is about too, like that warrior kind of spirit. But really it's Mars that is the warrior, right? Aries, that is literally a warrior in mythology and everything. So that may be what this fire energy is representing as well. It can be either, right? And fire energy can represent Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And this Ace of Autumn, again, is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes, or the energy of abundance, and sort of like divine blessings when it's this card in particular, the Ace of Earth. Feminine is crowned by the Ace of Spring. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action. Okay, we just looked at the Fool that was about jumping in, right, on your faith, leaping into action based on faith. And you want to passionately pursue every possibility that comes your way. So these are divine blessings as well. And it's people about which you are passionate. So again, leap at them, go for it. Don't let it pass you by. And it looks like if you have not already laid out a plan, then you may be doing so as well, or you should, in connection with making sure that nothing derails you from following your passions. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn, like the Ace, again, is the Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. And here's our 7 back again. So we're reaping what we've sown here, feminine. We have put a plan in place, even if we're not aware of it. And our higher self, right, higher consciousness has. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. So that's what we can do. Crowning the union is the Prince of Winter. So the Knight of Air, the Knight of Swords. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion, and to make your decisions quickly, right? Think fast. At the root, it's balance, which is temperance and represents the sign of Sagittarius. So these 2 fire major arcana cards sitting here at the bottom. Temperance is similar in this way to Judgment for me. It's about like restoration and recovery. Being made whole again, healing, very karmic energy. Again, like Judgment, very of the universe, putting things back together, like putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. Also helps us to, it relates to the positive aspects of that 2 of Pentacles that we saw, and balancing out, the practical areas of our life, finding time for work and play. Finding time for our relationships and for ourselves, right? So to be with other people and to be alone, to spend time with just me. To juggle our lover and our children, or our children and our parents, all of those things. The heart of the matter, it's the King of Winter. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, Be objective and unemotional and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. The King of Winter is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. He is also a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. And all of those are possible. Again, this week in particular. Because what we had going on today was a sextile between Mercury and Mars. And we also have Venus, who is both earth and air, in Aquarius, which is air. We also just had the Leo full moon. And we have Jupiter being very super large and in charge in the sky this week. Very prominent. And I think it was something at like a magnitude of -1.1, which is super bright. Like the lower the number is, so once it went to negative, that means really bright. The lower the number is, the brighter the object in the sky. That Jupiter will actually be visible this week, as we learned in the general. So I'm going to further clarify these. I'm going out of order of what I had planned to do, but it is what it is. I'm going to further clarify these with the Doreen Virtue, Romance Angels, beginning with wedding. This situation involves marriage. And opening 2, you deserve love. You are lovable. More Sagittarius, more Jupiter. So more karma-based relationships and situations coming up, just as I read in that opening message of the heart of the moment. You deserve love. And it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. It is safe for you to love, but you got to love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So this can be involving that 2 of earth again, and learning how to, find time for other things and other people and yourself, that juggling in a healthy way. Love yourself first. And heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And now that it's at the top, I'm going to cut. And it's calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. I did a lot of shuffling in my hand, but the overall energy is still calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Atop the 9 of spring, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So again, what you want to do, and these messages are repeating themselves. It's not the same cards, but as far as expressing yourself and releasing your ex, and I talked about all of this stuff in this very same position with the masculine, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So this is you speaking up for yourself in order to defend what it is you've created. And maybe what you've created is a spark, is the beginnings of a new relationship, is the beginning of a reconciliation, whatever it is, go for it. Surrounded by, atop the Ace of Autumn, trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith, because there is, value, worth, substance to this relationship, and it will have longevity. It will be good, but you got to, believe that, but it's here. Like, that's what it is. Also, you got to believe that you're going to have enough money. That's another thing that the Ace of Earth represents in finances and career. You got the strength to, and the wherewithal to make it through. and everything is positive here. You got to have that trust again too. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, but I wouldn't be worried about them. There's so much abundance here. On top, the Ace of Spring. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. You're allowing somebody, something, someplace to hold you back from that about which you're passionate. Then you've got to release yourself from that. And again, not let anything hold you back. Passionately pursue every possibility. That means don't let anything or body restrict you from any of the possibilities, including yourself. Don't let you get in your own way and hold you back either. Atop, the Prince of Autumn is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Right. Follow the plan. Stay on path. Stay on course. You're headed toward Ace of Wands. Go for it. That's the plan that the Knight of Pentacles has devised. Atop, the Seven of Autumn. This could be the one, right? Because that's what I planted. I planted the seeds for, to a fruitful and loving relationship for myself. That's what I should be reaping now. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Atop, the Prince of Winter. Forgiving and learning, because something may have come out. Something may have been said. We're expressing ourselves, expressing our love may come attached, especially when sitting next to the Prince of Winter and crossing the King of Winter, may come attached to some truth having come out. But it comes out because it has to, because we're having heart-to-heart conversations and honestly discussing our feelings for each other and what that means. And maybe, maybe where I've been, maybe I'm asking you where you've been. Maybe we got to find out what's been going on with both of us, and if we're going to be committed, if we want to walk away, what do we want? That's the judgment. All of these things are going to come up. So that also is going to involve the forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So it's all very worth it. At the root, atop, the Balance or Temperance. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together is honeymoon. So I can't think, well, this could be Valentine's Day, but that's next week's reading technically. So I can't really think of a holiday this week. That doesn't mean there aren't any. I can't think of one, but this doesn't have to be, this can be a card of movement too, as would be this, because all fire cards, wands cards, spring cards, whatever you want to call them, for me, at least are about movement, right? The wands are about movement. So this can be moving forward, similar to like the Six of Air, or even the Chariot. It can be metaphorical. It can be about going to visit one another. I've been feeling that too, about actually traveling, maybe taking a little vacation. Again, whether it's just one of you taking a vacation to go see the other perhaps, or taking a vacation together. All of these are possibilities. And it's sitting here next to the finances and career. So maybe it's about getting the money together in order to be able to do these things, and trusting and having the faith that it will come. Because if you believe that it won't, then it won't. You'll block your blessing. So be careful of that. At the heart of the matter, atop, the King of Winter, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And that may be something, again, that you want the money for as well. I'm going to take these away because I wanted to do the other spreads before and first, and I did not. So I said I was doing something, I was doing things all out of order. I want to still do those. And I had decided to do both today, one on the masculine and one from a perspective of, just the universe and the actual energy that's surrounding us, to do them both with the hashtag creepy deck. So I want to move to that now. Here it is, and I'm going to begin with fun times. And opening right away to triangle in 3. So our overall energy in the last spread was a 3, and now a 3 just popped up. Was the 3 of water. So maybe it's a love triangle involving a water sign. Fun times. And this chick, who's a Cancer, as far as I'm concerned, right? This is the Lilith. There she is now, upright, and money. So maybe an earth sign too. Earth sign and a Cancer, a water sign. And perhaps distance, separation, the need to travel to see one another, as we just saw with the honeymoon card. distance, and friendship. So friendship can go a long way. That can be with travels. This brunette female I'm feeling can be a friend that's not really a friend, or wants to be more than a friend, and she's karmic. I'm feeling more positive about the distance than anything. Not that it's like separation, that I just feel like it's a desire to travel, to want to see each other. So I don't know why you're in two different places. And I keep hearing like travel. Yeah, that's what I keep getting. I think for the most part, it's about either coming back together, traveling back to one another, or actually visiting, vacationing, something like that, and opening to the courting man. Long distance. I'm going to cut. And beauty queen. So this first one will be from the perspective of the masculine. Beauty queen is the Venus energy for me. It's this, feeling popular, feeling attractive, actually being attractive, finding yourself people being very attracted to you, this week and things like that. Overall energy is money, which for me is about, as it relates to love, just abundance in general, like that Venus energy of abundance. Longevity to a relationship can go a long way. It has a lot of value, a lot of, worth. It's very meaningful to us. But also it's like a relationship that can go the distance too. And it may be, there may be an earth sign involved this week in particular. Or somebody with, the very earth sign-like qualities. So this will be the feminine with regard to herself. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Himself. The union as a whole. Overall. The masculine would have the feminine due toward the union this week. What he himself is willing to. What the universe would have the two to do. And the outcome. The feminine. Mature man. For some, this really has to do with age. Because I had a bunch of the feminine approaching me with this kind of subject. And then I also... something popped up in my feed on Facebook about this as well. It was Jane Fonda in this show that she's in on Netflix, where she's apparently older than the gentleman that's interested in her. And I think she was having a bigger struggle, a greater struggle with it than he was. Like he just was ready to take her, accept her as she is. But over the past couple of weeks, this week and last week, these differences that we have one another, age being one of them in some cases, it's a factor in mine too. But there are many. But these differences, they came up last week and they came up this week. This week more so, I started talking about that movie Save the Last Dance, and because I was thinking like everybody around them tried to talk them out of this relationship with one another because they were like from two different places, as they say, and one was black and one was white, and other people were just jealous of the love. And I'm feeling that this is representing this thing with the feminine, that she has to get past her differences with the masculine, whatever they are. She has to deal with that. The same way Jane Fonda had to accept it, had to hear what her masculine was saying to her in that scene that I posted on my Facebook where he's saying, like, I'm fine with it. And she was the one that seemed to be uptight that she was older. these are the things that we're going to have to face this week. Also, on a separate note, this card also is very much Mars and the Emperor, and like the need to get organized and get yourself together and all that kind of stuff for me as well. And again, Mars in a sextile with Mercury today. So Mars very active and prominent today anyway. Mars is also in Sagittarius. That didn't come to my mind until just now, but that can be what all the Sagittarius has been about too. It's not just not just about Jupiter, but it's about Mars as well. Masculine about the feminine this week. Boom, this very Sagittarius energy, this young female. So this is funny because I was saying that this is Mars and this is like the older aspect of it, but this is the way like he's looking at the feminine. This is our view of ourself. So I think this really goes toward what I was just saying about the Jane Fonda show, where her masculine was like, I don't have a hang up about, like, this is your hang up. This is you're mad that you're older. You're worried that you're older. I like just love you. I'm not concerned with your age. So she's got to deal with that. This is how he views you. Well, we've got to deal with this. This is how he views us, this week at least. This very youthful, ready to go type of girl. And about himself, very nice, courting man. So he wants to go out. Maybe he's planning something for that quote unquote holiday next week, right? Valentine's Day or something like that. Or we can make any day of the year Valentine's Day. We don't have to do the cold commercial thing. And about the union as a whole, long distance. So I think, again, it's about going the distance, as is our overall energy of money, as I said. Or for one thing, it's about going the distance. It has so many meanings. Overall, spiritual growth. So all of these, this acceptance of ourselves, all that kind of stuff, and and realizing that how we view ourselves may not necessarily be how the other views us, and vice versa. It's sort of like when I look at my divine masculine, I'd see a king, and I'd say, "You don't see him." He'd say, "Sometimes, sometimes I do, not all the time. I see it all the time." So it's that sort of thing. It's leading us to growth, about getting to know ourselves better and to view ourselves better. That beauty queen, the Venus energy. So maybe Venus is going to help us with that this week. Overall, what would the masculine have the feminine to do this week? Deal with her past life issues. With one of them could be him, not an issue, but a past life situation. This is karma. We just talked about that opening message. Our past life and our present life are going to collide now. That could be what's happening, and what the masculine wants us to go for it. Again, leap in. Let's see if he's willing to do the same himself or something similar himself. Dating queen. Well, he wants to go out. I think he wants to go out with the feminine. I don't think it's really about necessarily 3 suitors. Although for some it can be, but I don't think it is, judging by the other cards. What would the masculine, what would the universe have the 2 to do this week? Soulmate. Dealing with soulmate. So this can be, because for everybody, it's not them uniting in any kind of way necessarily. For some, there are other soulmates that we have to deal with. So I guess quote unquote karmic soulmates. Again, this is a week of karma. Our karma. Our past life and our present life colliding, according to the cards. So the universe just wants us to, deal with what comes, whatever applies to us. Be like ready and present, and, jump in and have faith and just deal with it and allow life to unfold. Outcome. Ooh. The outcome is people are talking. Now then, again, this is the perspective from the masculine, because so he can still be worried about this, what are people going to say type of thing. Let's see what the universe says about this, this same union but from the perspective of what energy is surrounding us or what the universe wants to show us. And the first card to which I open is dating, and it's under this full moon. So that can be an indication that the full moon in Leo, you know, just sparked something, which I say it did. Dating. And there's the soulmate. Soulmate. Short-term heartache. Short-term heartache now there. And young male. So speaking of the age situation, the May-December relationships, that could be what the young male is showing up about. Communication. Maybe communication from the young male this week, or to the young male this week, because he's still here. And maybe you're confident to do that, to reach out one way or another, or to receive the call and accept it because you're feeling good. You know, this can apply to either or both. Again, beauty queen in that very Venus-like energy. Venus, the planet of popularity, love, money. Very nice. I've come to the blonde female, which does represent the divine feminine for me in this deck. The overall energy is travel. I told you guys I kept hearing travel. So I still say it could be about traveling back to one another. It can be about consciously traveling to visit one another. It can be about going away together. Or it can be metaphorical, just about movement. Like we're finally getting moving. Divine couple. Recent past. Near future. Masculine's higher self. Blocks or challenges to the union. The feminine can do, what the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Ooh. Fair male. This can be like that heightened sexual energy of like Capricorn and the quote unquote devil in the tarot. That's one thing. It can, like, it was coming and I like, it can also be saying just plain out what I've been talking about and what all the cards have been talking about, that this is a very quote unquote karmic week. And so that's why the divine couple is represented by this very like karmic feeling card for me. This card always makes me feel like the energy of karma and or Capricorn and restriction and the quote unquote devil from the tarot, all of those things. So again, because that's just what we're dealing with this week, and literally we're dealing with that, but literally we're dealing with the planet Jupiter this week, which is the planet of karma. I think that's what this is coming through as most. The recent past, Sagittarius and young female. And this feels like a month old, and I don't remember what was going on with Sagittarius last month. But I keep like feeling and hearing like last month. Hopefully it'll come to me. But there was something actually going on with Sagittarius that this card is representing. That's the recent past. The near future. Ooh, brunette female. So not only the whole couple having to deal with in the present these karmic issues, but this continues into the near future. Now the near future can only be like, you know, it could possibly be just this week. But it sounds scary. Like, how long are we going to be dealing with karmic issues? Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and I just heard Jupiter. Was something going on with Jupiter last month? I got to try to remember, because I'm not getting that part. And I felt something coming in a second ago, and I'm losing it as it's coming in, which is not really like me. But I may need a nap. It's possible I need a nap. Masculine's higher self. Open relationship. So he's been on a roll as far as this kind of, it's been union, open relationship, you know, twin flame. Every week it's a streak for the past several weeks. The masculine's head in the game as it relates to the union, at least his higher self. Let me see and pull one for his 3D self. Young male. So youthful, ready, playful, lighthearted, and again, you know, wanting this relationship out in the open. Wanting it, but from the last spread, which was from his perspective, apparently still being concerned about what people might say, with that outcome having been gossip. It seems like he still cares. The blocks. Mars, Emperor, Ice King. Also maybe Mercury, air sign. And maybe something having to do with the Leo full moon. The Leo full moon, this card here crossing this one and the Cancer. Remember I told you about the crab and the Cancer. So there could be, repeating this like a karmic issue that is the block, that is the challenge. Also, conflict, maybe with these people too. Conflict is coming out of this card too. And again, when I see conflict from like wands or fire, when I feel that, it's usually conflict with close friends and or family, as opposed to like strangers or anything like that, or sometimes with ourselves. So there could be some inner struggles too, coming up from these karmic issues that we're dealing with this week. And the Jupiter. Oh, that's probably now it's just falling out of my mouth. It's the Jupiter, I guess, that raised the karmic issue. That's why it's the recent past, and now it results in these two. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad that it finally made sense. And further advice from the universe here is to be confident and fearless and just like go for it, which is what they've been telling us. What can the feminine do? Keep pursuing your passions. Don't let these, the energy of, negativity and perhaps past life situations or situations from your past hold you back. Keep pursuing your passions. And the masculine, don't worry about the people talking. So, of course, the universe very in tune with your higher self. The outcome that you chose was this, and the universe knows you're concerned about this, and it's saying like, don't. Sort of like the two of air from the animal tarot. It says something like, if the reason that you haven't made a decision yet is because you're worried about what other people are going to say, like stop that and, make the best decision for you. If you want relationship out in the open, then you go after relationship out in the open. You have the confidence to pursue that, and without caring about what anybody's going to say, whoever they are, even if it's like your father or mother. Although, of course, this is more father-like to me, the emperor. But even if it's like your parent or something, and that's the family close friends or family with whom you're having the aggression and the conflict, still do what you want. Outcome, communication. So it looks like you do what you want. Like, and this prevails. The energy of Aquarius prevails over, and Uranus prevails over Jupiter and, you know, the Leo and the Mars here, perhaps. And we do move forward. So on that note, opening to work, which is more earth sign and effort, friendship, maybe building upon a friendship, work toward that relationship out in the open, regardless of what others think, in spite of our past lives and our pasts in general and our karma, moving forward toward more positive things and growth, gifts, growth, now growth opposite gifts. And on that note, I'll cut. Wow. So I started this spread with fun times and we've gone 360. We're back to fun times. Deal us each a card from there, from the Romance Angel, opening to very soon. Give these a little bit of a shuffle too. Forgiving and learning. Ooh, deception, lying to ourselves is what comes from this. Someone, and we got to pull the mask off. There's also been some from most, it's more like lies by omission. Like I haven't told you everything, than just flat out lying. I'm starting to see the orbs. I hadn't noticed them earlier. Yeah, it's there's something I haven't told you. So that's coming out too. And maybe it'll be part of the forgiving and learning process. Whoever has to come clean will need to first let go of control issues and face their fear and just spit it out. Allow the situation to unfold from there naturally. Forgiving and learning and heart-to-heart conversations. Told you, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. On that note, I will cut these. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And here, beginning with the Prince of Summer, opening to the Hermit. It's more Virgo, more earth sign. Take time for contemplation. Some of us need to go within, right? Because there is an internal struggle. We do need to decide to pull off the mask, whatever the case is. So go ahead, retreat, go within, and be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment and growth if you can too. So this is either a matter of, it's a teaching moment, or it's a learning moment, or it's both. In some cases, it's all going to be, it is going to be both. And not only that, you're going to be the only student and you're going to be the teacher too. Hermit. And the Princess of Summer, which is the Page of Cups, sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced, is the Princess of Summer. You can expect to kindle a new relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited on a social event. So like the dating guy, that can be the social event or from whom the emotional messages come, at the courting man. The Page of Summer might be that young male too. It comes through to me from the card as a Pisces, right? The youthful of the water signs, but it doesn't have to be. It can be taking us back to that the May-December relationships. All those things can be coming back into play. And opening to the 8 of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity. And it says career advancement. I'm going to say, relationship advancement as well. This is learning ourselves, learning partners, learning life, by experience and applying it and then being rewarded for that. Hermit, cut. And it's the Princess of Autumn. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous is the Princess of Autumn. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, or a relationship here, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting and to start a more rewarding and uplifting relationship, situation, life, okay, for yourself. Further to that, the animals say to the masculine, 3 of Spring, stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans, capitalizing on your past success. It's important to pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. So maybe you've taken some steps, some positive action steps, and now you've got these 3 stakes in the ground, and you only need 1 more before you have a whole foundation and you have something that you feel, to offer somebody. Maybe you don't feel worthy now because you only got 3, but the universe says take this time to, be proud of yourself and keep moving. Now, for others, of course, this is a love triangle or, some sort of party of 3 as it relates to relationships. And you're going to, want to take measures to handle that, as we saw with the other spreads, whatever that means for you in your life. Feminine, the King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects that you've started, they'll be stunningly successful. Or relationships that you start will be stunningly successful. They'll also be exciting, and new opportunities will be coming your way. Anything is possible. Money, resources, love, all that kind of stuff will be coming your way, will be invested wisely. Your time, anything with any value. Masculine, similar to what we got in the other spread, you are now getting past life, but we knew from the beginning, from the opening message, that we all would be dealing with our past and our present colliding this week. So this is yours. And again, it may have to do with you addressing some sort of party of 3 situation, perhaps a love triangle or a friend, a family member, somebody that's a thorn in your side, that's a block, that's a challenge, that's in the way of your relationship. We saw on the other spread that it came through as Mars, so it may be an actual direct fire sign. Or a Scorpio, because we also had the 3 of Spring here. Mars, ruler of Aries and fire, and Scorpio. So perhaps that. Or you may be the fire sign or the water sign. There's a situation with 3 people that you got to handle. You got to handle it. You know what it is. I don't know what it is. Speaking of that Mars, here he is, the Ice King. So this is the Emperor in our lives, about us getting organized, feminine, and, planning to positively move forward, as like taking on a leadership role in our own lives too, and trusting that things are going to work out. So in the Romance Angels masculine, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So this is talking about unconditionally and without agenda, and without like restriction and holding things back and being dishonest and putting on a mask, like letting go of all that stuff. It's safe for you to do all of that. Feminine, you got to trust that you will and stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. We both need to be operating in and with and on the law of attraction for it to work out, you know, best for everyone, ourselves as individuals, ourselves as a couple, and the collective as well. Like, we all need to be putting out positive energy in support of one another. Every success, individual success, is a success for us all. Lastly, masculine. Ooh. Card number 31, the Christ flame, which I find particularly interesting on today when you guys had that flame just like raging out of control. So I'm looking forward to reading this. And feminine, our card is beauty. So maybe more Venus type of stuff. Let's see. The Christ flame. Within you burns the flame of Christ, beyond religion. This flame belongs to all hearts willing to receive the divine, opening to it as a lover would be open to the heart to receive the beloved. Though the awakening of the Christ within brings greater closeness to the divine and therefore greater love and depth of compassion, it too can bring sadness, righteous anger, and a passionate need to contribute positive healing action and change in the world. You may be an introspective soul who does this through mastering their inner world with meditation and yoga, raising your own vibration with an absolute intent that this will bring healing to the world around you. Like I was just saying, like an individual success leads to success for us all, or is a success for us all. You may be an extroverted soul that thrives in sharing messages and living a life of dynamic action in support of causes that are worthy and moving your brave heart, capable of feeling divine outrage and responding with inspired action. You may be a combination of these two soul types and choosing wisely what you consume, which companies you support, what television you do or don't watch, and what you read, voting for the life you want to have around you in the world through your actions, internal and external. This is the Christ flame igniting within you, setting the world aflame with the fire of divine love. This oracle brings you guidance that you are connecting with the universal Christ consciousness, and your heart is meant to awaken as a sacred heart, bearing the Christ flame of divine love in this lifetime. You're part of a wave of awakening that's happening on earth now. You are exactly where you're meant to be, and you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. So keep going, right? Keep traveling forward, moving. Love is more than words can define. It's a feeling which wells up inside and longs for release. It's a smile which starts in my heart and spreads across my face like a silly grin. It is knowing so deep in my being that every cell speaks in a language only lovers know. And most of all, it is the beginning, the birth, the possibility, the promise of a tomorrow, the hope that grows into something we can only imagine when hearts combine and love becomes more. And now the feminine, beauty. To celebrate the divine feminine is to honor her beauty, her endless bounty, and abundant creativity. How'd they know that I picked this card for the divine feminine? I knew that it was Venus or the divine feminine as soon as I read the name. You are a vehicle of her beauty. This is radiance that has nothing to do with soul-destroying cultural stereotypes based on physical appearances. So not the fact that Jane Fonda is older than her male counterpart, you know, her boyfriend in her Netflix show. You know, not the fact that the young man was black and the young woman was white in Save the Last Dance. You know, like all the differences, it doesn't matter is what this is saying. It's how you view yourself that's important, as I was just talking about earlier in the reading, before we knew that this was going to be our card. It is a radiance that comes from feeling beautiful within, of allowing all that you are to shine through and to be witnessed in the world. You're being asked to let the inner beauty become one with your physical self. You don't have to change the way you look to become more of the divine beauty that you are. You just need to change the way that you look at yourself. Do you see a king? See all the time. not just sometimes. You see a queen all the time, not just sometimes. You got to do that. You think you're too old? Then you think you're too old. You need to, make yourself more youthful if that's important to you. Your partner doesn't have a problem with it. That's what, this is supporting the message that we've already received throughout the reading. It's an accompaniment. Behold the divine within you. You are in the process of healing past wounds about your appearance, your body, and your sexuality, finding purity in all of yourself and becoming ready to share that with others in a deeper and more open way without shame or self-criticism. And we've seen this many times before. I've told you guys before that I pulled that physical beauty card and it came through as like the masculine saying, stop, like, worrying about yourself and like talking about yourself in a negative way and talking down about yourself. You're too fat, you're too short, you're too tall, you're too skinny, you're too old, you're too young, or whatever it is. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like hearing it. I've read that before for us. Take your time and fall in love with what you are. Then you can become not the victim of others' own projected shame, but the love necessary for the shame of the world to heal. This oracle indicates a significant change in your self-perception taking place within you, an ability to love and accept yourself more completely than you ever have before. Quite simply, because you've grown. There's more divinity awakened in your heart than ever before. The nature of the divine is love, and you're realizing that you don't have to change to be beautiful. Allow this development to grow swiftly and to embrace your uniqueness, beloved. You are an exquisite flower in the heavenly garden. How many times I've looked in your eyes and sailed away beyond my dreams to a sheltered thought on a quiet beach where the sand is soft as flour. You may never know this place, and someday when you look in my eyes, I will tell you. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this week's love reading. Again, I'm having a sale. It is 20% off, in a general sense of all my love readings and healing energy work for loved ones. It is 40% off to my Patreon subscribers. Namaste, angels.
My feet won't touch the ground.